Good morning, may I please have a grande decaf Americano?
Yeah? A hot one?
Yes, please.
You got it. What else?
That's it.
All right, we'll see you up here.
Great, thank you.
Yeah?
Like that, just short and sweet. Yes. Yeah, you can have that. Hey, crew, I've got the key to a 23 Porsche Panamera Turbo S, this one right here. And today we're gonna see what it's like to live with this Gentian Blue example, a $200,000 super sedan. And we'll start by checking out the spacing in my driveway with it parked maybe about 4 inches from the side next to my Cadillac CT5V Blackwing. That is not that far to the side. I want to say maybe 10 inches in. It is kept nice, cozy, warm under this sealskin outdoor semi-custom car cover with a lining on the inside to protect the paint. If you want to grab one of these, it's a great car cover. I'll put a link in, well, actually, I don't know, in my description, but also a card so you can get a discount on one of those. And even with my car in as much as it is, I still have plenty of room to walk in between the two cars. And when I'm opening up the door, I don't have to hit the unlock button because we've got smart keyless entry. And one of my favorite parts about getting into the Panamera Turbo S is the fact that it kind of has this infinite pause feature for the door. Instead of those defined kinks like some other vehicles, you can stop the door kind of wherever and it's going to hold its position. So I can take it all the way out to right where I want it to, and it's going to hold that position. So I can maximize my ease of entry. But before I do that, I actually have to find some places for items like my large water bottle, which does slot into this large door pocket. And let's see, my wallet. I of course have that Porsche key and my phone. So as I gracefully make my way inside and say, hello cabin crew, thank you for joining me for this day in the life video with the Porsche Panamera Turbo S, I then can find places for these. Here in the console, there's not much storage in there. I've got some GoPro batteries there. I can put the key fob in this little cubby there. And then the wallet, that's fine. It's a slim wallet, no need of extra space. And this is a wireless charging slot, so the phone can tuck in neatly there. So just enough space for my items. Then I'm gonna close up the door, which has a soft close function. So even if I didn't close it up hard, it would finish the job for me. And then crank the ignition on the left and fire on that twin turbo V8. Now let's listen for the idle from outside the vehicle. It is some throaty music reverberating off my garage door and spreading into the neighborhood, but nothing too crazy. This isn't a supercar startup, even though the performance is definitely supercar, so your neighbors should tolerate you. And now before we hit the road, of course, I gotta throw on my seatbelt, but we do have a frosted up windshield because it was a chilly night last night, so let's hit the front defrost and the rear one. Those will come in strong. And I'll select my drive mode here on the steering wheel. We'll leave it in normal to start things off and pull back on the gear selector to go into drive, press down on the electronic parking brake and head on out. No worries about the clearance with the gutter in my driveway because this is not a 911, this is just a Panamera. Man, those defrosters were quick to clear up my view front and back, so I can turn those off. And my butt is toasty warm from the 3-stage seat heating, so off that goes as well. While we're still in my neighborhood, I'm gonna test out the turning circle here. So lined up, wheel cranked, and turning about in such a tight circle thanks to the rear wheel steering system. And now let's listen for the turn signal sound. Which is a gentle tap, one I appreciate when I'm starting my day. And what about the world famous horn test? Ooh, That is also fairly gentle, at least from inside the cabin. Feels very well insulated, though outside, perhaps it carries much further. Before we get to the highway portion of my commute, while I'm around town, I want to talk about the ride and seat comfort from this adaptive air suspension, which does transmute a lot of the road texture in through the steering wheel and to your seat, but I feel like you kind of want that in a Porsche. What it doesn't do is transfer these sharp impacts from scars on the road surface. So here I'm about to enter a construction area, and as I go over these blemishes, I hear them a little bit. I feel that they are there, but I'm not disturbed by them. And that's important in a, yes, $200,000 performance luxury sedan. But I do want to return to these seats for just a minute because they're not fully off the hook by just being so adjustable and ergonomic in their positioning, because the padding is a little on the firm side. So after you've been in the saddle for, in my experience, about an hour, you do start to feel like, I want to get up and move. We do have as standard some carbon ceramic brakes, and you might worry that in the early morning hours, as you're just getting your day going and the brakes just getting warm, they might be squealing or too grabby. That is not at all the experience I've had with them. You can get nice smooth stops, and I don't hear anything from them. And the Turbo S part of this Panamera's name tells us we have a 4-liter twin-turbocharged V8 pumping out 620 horsepower. But that figure shouldn't scare you when you're just making your way around town, because the power delivery is velvety smooth, and in normal drive mode, the throttle tip-in is gentle. There is, of course, always enough momentum if you just dig into the throttle a little bit more, but when you don't need it, you don't have to have it. And this 8-speed dual-clutch automatic gearbox that's paired with that, along with the all-wheel drive system, does give you smooth shifts in motion. It's only when you're just making your way right to a stoplight is there a little bit of clunkiness there and just pulling away from it. And my final task before hopping on the highway and joining the traffic jungle is to grab a cup of coffee. So I'm gonna plow through this drive-through. Good morning, may I please have a grande decaf Americano?
Yeah? A hot one?
Yes, please.
You got it. What else?
That's it.
All right, we'll see you up here.
Great, thank you.
Yeah?
Like that, just short and sweet. Yes. Yeah, you can have that. And here's a feature you can really appreciate in a drive-through with all this stopping and going, is the fact that the Panamera Turbo S has an auto brake hold. You just press the brake pedal a little extra firm, and it's gonna hold your position, so you don't have to keep your foot on that pedal if you're sitting here for a while. You really notice how low the Panamera Turbo S is when you're at a high drive-through window. I feel like they're way above me. Thank you very much. You too. And we got a cup holder here, and that one feels too small. Thankfully, there's a larger one just behind it. Oh, I definitely spilled it on myself. Okay, I'll wash it off at work. Yeah, I did get a decaf Americano, and that's because caffeine makes me really jittery, but I still like the taste. Not necessarily Starbucks. I guess this is just a need for hot liquid on the go, and they're one of the only games in town with the drive-through. Also, they're the ones that have these little plugs that go inside the coffee lid, which I'm going to need when I join the highway in just a moment here. And I could change my drive mode with this dial, or I can just hit the center button, which gives me a sport response for 20 seconds, and 20 seconds is all I'm going to need. As I shall now demonstrate, light is green, sport response is a go, and I am going as well. You are right away at the pace of traffic. And even if those 20 seconds run out, or rather, even if you don't need the rest of the 20 seconds, I could hit the sport response again at any point in time and then hit it once more to cancel. Now at the highway pace, let's talk about the visibility. Over the nose which is downturned allows me great sight lines. The windows are nice and large, the door mirrors are good sized as well. Out the back glass is perfect, but I do have a blind spot at that C-pillar, especially with the raised cowl. There is blind spot monitoring, though you do have to pay for it, which is shocking to me at this price point. Still, I'll take the naked eye visibility of this car, no problem. And as we hit a pocket of traffic, I'm going to engage the adaptive cruise control system with lane keep assist, so that I don't have to do a lot of braking and acceleration. The car is going to do that for me. And when it does pick up on the lane markings, which it'll tell me by having this part be green, then I could allow it to correct me from the outsides of the lane. It's not a steering assist system. It's not one where you can take your hands off and just allow it to highway cruise, but it's still nice to have, though right now I don't know why these lane markings are very defined, at least to my eyes. I'm not sure why it's not picking up on those. At least I do have the adaptive cruise, which right now is slowing the car for me, and I can change up the distance at which I want to follow behind the car in front of me. All right, things have cleared up a little bit, and now that I'm traveling at this velocity, I want to quiet up and listen for the NVH level. Well, that V8 is certainly nice and quiet. The wind noise is not a big issue. The road noise isn't as subdued as I was expecting, and here on this louder surface, you can really hear it. Methinks the money has gone somewhere else in the development of this car, so let's find out where. I'm gonna move into the Sport Plus drive mode and also into the manual mode. Oof, listen to that. And enjoy some aggressive passing power. Okay, that'll do for me in terms of the excitement on my way to work. Okay, a little bit more. PDK is so fast, that's crazy. All right, we'll go back to normal drive mode, back into automatic shifting, and while I just want to relax for the last few minutes before I get to the office, I'm gonna turn on my driver's seat massage. Massage program on, let's stretch it on out before I'm gonna be sitting a long time in my office chair. All right, I've just about made it into the office, and I can genuinely say I'm more relaxed than when I first got in the car because of this massage. Not all these massage systems in vehicles are created equal. Most of them just so softly press against you that nothing really changes. This one actually gets in there and kneads out the tension. I like it. But now my blood pressure is back up because I've just remembered my personalized executive parking space is being repainted. I'm gonna have to park out here with the commoners. I'm gonna make it easier on myself by hitting the assist and then the park assist to make sure I don't scrape anything on my very expensive automobile. And the parking sensors are chiming in as well. Harold is gonna have a field day with my parking spot. Oh. Bill, where does he get these jokes? The man is a riot. All right, it's time for lunch. And if you can afford a Panamera Turbo S, you can afford to splurge a little bit. But what do I want? I'm thinking something healthy, certainly, but also tasty. What is that gonna be? Well, as I think about that, let's check out the backup camera in this vehicle to make sure it has all the right angles. Let's see, high resolution, that's good. Bird's eye view, excellent. View of the back end, you saw the view of the front end as I pulled in, and this could show you where your tires are gonna be if you're pulling into your driveway space. We do, of course, have trajectory lines as well. And thanks to that rear wheel steering system, even in tighter spaces like this, maneuverability is never an issue. Healthy, tasty, I said, and not cheap? Well, that's gotta be True Food Kitchen here in Newport Beach. All right, I got my overpriced food and my harbor ambiance here. Now, where am I gonna consume this? I don't want to sit inside the car, and it's too bad we don't have a big spoiler like the 911 Turbo S. Or do we? Because if I just do this, then I'm gonna have a nice large table for which to lay out my lunch. Oh yeah, that felt like a productive lunch break. I thought of a good joke for Bill. I'm going to come right back in with this. What do you call a cow with no legs? Ground beef. Get it? Because the cow is on the ground. Oh my gosh. He is going to love it. He is going to love it. While I am out and about, I might as well get some errands done. I have a few packages waiting for me at the UPS store. Not a huge haul, but as we'll see, the Panamera Turbo S could handle so much more. Hands-free function, so I don't have to put these down. And the lift back gives us a huge access point. So loading in is easy. Put the big items there in the middle, maybe these other smaller ones off to the side so they don't go sliding all over the place. And we are good to go. Now, to be honest, I'm not in a major rush to get back to the office. So let's find a place to pull off and we can go over the exterior and interior highlights of the Panamera Turbo S. We'll keep the exterior conversation brief because there's not really all that much to talk about. From the front, you can instantly tell it is a Porsche product with those wide set eyes and the 4 individual daytime running lights there. Got these big 21-inch wheels with a multi-spoke pattern and those yellow painted carbon ceramic brakes. Not sure about that contrast, the blue on yellow here. The silhouette is conservative. It's just got that gentle slope to the roof and then the soft C at the pillar to bring it in line with the 911 styling. Here at the back, with that spoiler retracted, only those 4 exhaust outlets really stand out at you. The whole design of the Panamera is on the subtler side, but it does still look expensive, and that is going to matter when you're impressing Bill and Todd and your other coworkers, who will be even more impressed when they look inside and see these individual bucket seats that say sports car, and they feel that soft leather and they experience the rear seat heating, and then they go to get in and find that they don't actually whack their heads on the way in, which is so unusual for these 4-door sedans. You're constantly whacking your noggin. Here I am behind my own seat at 6 feet. Got plenty of knee room. The foot pockets are nice and large. I've got thigh support, and with my head on the headrest, I'm not brushing against the roof. I also have my own sunroof, which I can control here, along with my own climate control and a screen that allows me to adjust the climate. I can adjust the media options, my seat heating as a redundancy from actually hitting this button, which is kind of odd. And then here, I've got 2 cup holders hidden underneath this dark wood. And I also have 2 USB ports, USB-Cs. Actually, there's a third as well. What's going on? There's an armrest that comes down. It's really nice and comfortable. And I've got storage inside. I mean, what more could you ask for in the second row? And how about soft closing doors? Yes, the rear passengers have that as well, along with their own set of smart keyless entry. The front seats have 28 ways of adjustability, along with as equipped heating, ventilation, and massage, with 3 positions of memory for the driver's seat. So you, your significant other, maybe your adult kid, can each have their own preferences for the seat, the steering wheel, and the door mirrors that they pull up with 1 button press. All 4 windows are 1 touch up down, so you don't have to hold on that lever or press it down for too long. These buttons can open and close your power lift back. Getting in is nice and easy, just like the back seats. This steering wheel feels so great in the hands. The diameter is just right, the thickness is just right, and the paddles may not be large, but they feel so substantial. I love that Porsche retained the tachometer right in the center and kept it analog, unlike the digital displays to the left and right. The Sport Chrono lap timer up on the dashboard makes you feel special. The infotainment is easy to read and it's responsive. The menu structure can be confusing. Certain things are buried within. You can use either the touch or you can also turn this dial to control that infotainment, but I often confuse that dial with the volume knob because I'm just trained to use volume knobs, but you don't actually have a knob to adjust the volume, you have this wheel. I do like the physical toggles for fan speed and for temperature adjustments. Those feel excellent. The touch icons on here do also have haptic feedback, so it's not all that distracting to use while driving. You just kind of locate where they are and then feel through the different settings. There's not all that much storage in the console. I did show you that cubby and then of course the console itself. And so in summary, the Panamera Turbo S cabin isn't wanting for sporty touches or luxury amenities. It could just use a little extra storage space. And on your after work drive home, you may wish to enjoy some of the Panamera Turbo S's most delightful party tricks. So you'll flick it into Sport Plus. Enjoy some insane handling. And unreal acceleration, 2.73 seconds to 60. Are you kidding me? As I prepare now to take the Panamera Turbo S out for a night drive, I'm gonna top up the fuel. There's a 24-gallon tank in this vehicle, and so if you hit the EPA estimated combined rating of 17 from 15 mpg city and 21 highway, then you'd have 384 miles on a tank, but we've been hitting 12, and that's with a lot of city and traffic driving factored in. And with current fuel prices of $5.15, $5.16 for premium fuel, you're looking at $124, $125 to fill up that tank. All right, crew, our Panamera Turbo S is ready for its night on the town. So let's finalize our thoughts on what it's like to live with from behind the wheel. Cutting right to the chase, the Porsche Panamera Turbo S is a highly livable vehicle, but it's not perfect. So let's begin with the things that are perhaps less than desirable. Loose item storage. I appreciate that these door pockets are nice and large, but you have other knickknacks and you want to stick them in the console, it's quickly going to fill up in that space. This next one could really go either way, but you really need to know yourself when you're shopping something in the $200,000 territory. If you find yourself wanting to kind of flamingo a little bit, then the aesthetic of the Panamera Turbo S, which is very subdued, is not going to do it for you. If you want something that is a little more under the radar, not going to cause a stir in the office parking lot, however, this is right up your alley. Porsche's PDK dual clutch transmission is largely faultless, but in terms of livability, at very low speeds, like just coming up to a stop, it does get to be a little bit clunky, and when you're just pulling away from a stop. And the final knock on the Panamera Turbo S is just that the road noise is a little bit higher than I think it should be when you're spending, as tested, $210,000. But the good of the Panamera Turbo S far outweighs the bad. Starting with the ease of entry and exit with doors that open just to where you want them to, and then soft close on the other side of things. And if you do find yourself in those rear seats, well, for one, hold on, but you will have plenty of legroom and headroom, and when cargo space is needed, the lift back opening gives you plenty of space to load and unload those items. I love the maneuverability and visibility of this car, and the driver's seat position is nice and low, so I really feel part of the driving experience, which is so rewarding. Not just that crazy acceleration, but the handling is a true Porsche finesse product, and that stands for a lot. And when you don't have to pay for that with impracticality or with inconvenience or lack of comfort, this really stands apart as a great daily driver. I hope you guys have enjoyed this POV day in the life video. If you did, please like, comment, and share it. Subscribe to the channel, hit that bell to get notified, and I will see you again next time.